Disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before starting or changing any supplement, peptide, or medical treatment. Let's dive into the fascinating world of Selank, a peptide that has been gaining more and more attention in the fields of neuroscience, mood support, and cognitive enhancement. Selank is a synthetic peptide developed in Russia, where it was originally created by the Institute of Molecular Genetics of the Russian Academy of Sciences. Its design came from a naturally occurring human peptide called tuftsin, which is involved in immune regulation. By modifying tuftsin, researchers developed Selank to extend its stability and enhance its beneficial properties. What makes Selank unique is that it is classified as both an anxiolytic, which means it reduces anxiety, and as a nootropic, which means it may improve cognitive function. That combination is rare because most traditional anti-anxiety drugs, like benzodiazepines, tend to slow cognition and cause sedation. Selank, in contrast, appears to reduce anxiety while also enhancing focus, memory, and learning. Researchers in Russia and Eastern Europe have been studying Selank for decades. Clinical studies suggest it may help regulate serotonin and dopamine, two key neurotransmitters involved in mood, motivation, and reward. There's also evidence that Selank modulates GABA, the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. By influencing this network of chemical messengers, Selank seems to promote a state of calm alertness, where stress is reduced but mental clarity remains intact. Selank is typically administered as a nasal spray or intranasal drops. This delivery method allows it to cross the blood-brain barrier more effectively than if it were taken orally. Some peptide suppliers also provide it in injectable form, but the nasal application remains the most common. Users often report that it has a subtle, smooth onset rather than a sudden or dramatic effect. Instead of feeling sedated, they describe feeling more balanced, less reactive to stress, and better able to concentrate. One of the key features of Selank is its reported ability to help regulate the body's response to stress. Chronic stress and anxiety can impair immune function, disrupt sleep, and negatively affect overall health. By reducing the impact of stress, Selank may indirectly support the immune system and help restore balance in the body. In fact, some studies have explored its potential role in treating generalized anxiety disorder and even depression, with promising results. When it comes to cognitive enhancement, Selank has been shown to improve memory formation and retrieval in animal studies. Human trials also point toward improved learning ability and focus. Some users describe it as sharpening their mental edge, especially in high-pressure environments such as work, study, or public speaking. What's remarkable is that it seems to achieve these effects without the jitteriness or overstimulation that can come with stimulants like caffeine or prescription drugs. Another fascinating aspect of Selank is its influence on the immune system. Because it is based on tuftsin, which naturally regulates immune activity, Selank appears to help normalize immune responses. This could mean enhancing immune defenses when they are weak, or calming them down when they are overactive. For this reason, researchers have considered its potential use in conditions that involve immune dysregulation. Now, let's talk about safety. One of the reasons Selank has gained a loyal following is that it appears to have a very low side effect profile. Unlike benzodiazepines, It does not cause addiction, withdrawal symptoms, or sedation. Most users tolerate it well, with the most commonly reported issue being mild nasal irritation when using sprays or drops. Because of this, Selank is often viewed as a safer alternative for managing anxiety, especially for long-term use. Dosage varies depending on the form and the individual's goals. Clinical studies often use intranasal doses in the range of several hundred micrograms per day, sometimes divided into 2 or 3 applications. However, because it is not an FDA-approved drug in the United States, dosing guidelines are not officially established. That makes it important for anyone considering Selank to consult with a qualified practitioner before use. There's also growing interest in combining Selank with another peptide called Cmax. Both were developed in Russia, both act on the nervous system, and both are reported to enhance cognition. While Cmax is more focused on neuroprotection and memory enhancement, Selank is more focused on mood regulation and anxiety reduction. Together, they are sometimes used as a complementary pair, balancing stress reduction with mental sharpness. The history of Selank provides an interesting glimpse into how peptides are developed for therapeutic use. While much of the Western pharmaceutical industry has focused on synthetic small molecule drugs, Russian scientists invested heavily in peptides as a class of compounds. Their reasoning was that peptides can often mimic natural biological signals, leading to powerful effects with fewer side effects. Selank is one example of how that approach can pay off, showing benefits across mental health, cognition, and immunity. Many people who experiment with Selank describe subtle but noticeable benefits over time. They often report that they don't feel drugged or altered, but rather more balanced and capable of handling challenges. Some say it helps them sleep more easily, while others highlight its impact during the day when managing stress or needing to focus. That variability shows that Selank may not feel the same for everyone, but the overall pattern points toward better mood stability and resilience. Of course, it's important to mention that while Selank has been studied and used in Russia for decades, it remains an unapproved research compound in many countries. This means that quality and purity can vary between suppliers, and users should exercise caution. Always source peptides from reputable providers and seek professional medical guidance. The potential of Selank goes beyond just individual use. Scientists are exploring its role in treating clinical anxiety, depression, and even conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. If larger clinical trials confirm its benefits, Selank could become a valuable tool in modern medicine, offering a non-addictive alternative to many current treatments. It's also interesting to consider the broader implications of peptides like Selank. They represent a shift toward therapies that are more natural in their mechanisms, aligning with the body's own signaling systems. Instead of brute force chemical interventions, peptides often act as gentle modulators, nudging the body back toward balance. This could be part of the future of medicine, where more therapies are personalized, precise, and supportive of long-term health. As with all peptides, research is still ongoing. Questions remain about the best dosing strategies, the long-term effects, and how Selank interacts with other compounds or therapies. But the data so far is encouraging, suggesting that this peptide has real promise. To sum it up, Selank is a synthetic peptide derived from tuftsin that has been shown to reduce anxiety, enhance cognition, and support immune balance. It is typically taken intranasally, works by modulating neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, and is well tolerated by most users. Its dual role as both anxiolytic and nootropic makes it stand out in the peptide world, and it represents an exciting area of ongoing research. Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before starting or changing any supplement, peptide, or medical treatment. Thanks for listening. Keep learning and stay curious.